honestly, we're gonna let these ladies talk. So thank you so very much, everyone, for being here to Get Griefy's first ever open house. We decided to do something like this, I don't know, even maybe before Christmas time, but I had a family friend reach out to me, and she had recently gone through just a couple of years of illness. She had a cancer diagnosis, just a really tough time for her in her life. And she reached out to me because she's like, oh my gosh, I see all of the things that you're posting on Facebook about Get Griefy and your collective, and I'm just so curious, like, how do I even start? Like, I want to do something to help other people that have dealt with cancer, and I would love to just pick your brain. And it got me thinking that this is something that we should be doing together as a collective, because this is something that we all do. And it's not just me who channeled my pain into purpose, it's all of the members of our collective. And so I really wanted to take the opportunity to share their stories and what brought them to us, and share all of the amazing, beautiful things that they do as a result of something that, quite honestly, is quite crappy that happened to them. You know, them, like myself, you know, have gone through some very tough times, some grief, some loss, but that doesn't mean it's the end of our story. And we're all kind of forging forward with our grief in tow, with the legacies of our people in our hearts, but we are definitely here to help people. And we, as a collective, believe that we are stronger together, versus this idea that there's not enough room in the grief space for more grief workers. It's very much the contrary. I think that there's space for everyone here, and grief is so individually unique and different to everyone that is why it's so important to have a vast variety of grief care workers in this field, because it's like a pair of shoes or a type of ice cream. Like, everyone's going to have their own preference, and we want to ensure that we're offering the support and services that people need to help them when they're feeling at their lowest. And so that's exactly what we do here at Get Griefy Small Business Collective. And so many people, I think, are kind of just curious as to what it is. And our Small Business Collective is totally a community. We all work together collectively to, one, expand our own personal things that we've developed on our own, but then also expand the things that we're working on together. So we do operate on the principle that our unity is what makes us stronger and better, and that collaboration and community always help us get to where we want to be in terms of success, whatever that success means to us. Some of us truly are trying to make this our living and become professionals in the field. And some of us, we're just doing this because it feels good and it's something that helps us occupy our time. And so we have truly a vast variety of small business owners and practitioners and people who have written books, author books. We have Patricia here, she has awesome coloring books. Like, there's just so many people that are involved, and they have a wide variety of skills. And that's what makes it so cool, is because if someone wants to host a retreat, and they can reach out to the collective and say, hey, I'm looking for someone who can do X, Y, and Z, we're kind of able to help each other out and kind of fill in. Benefits of our collective is that there is an app and a website. They're both the same. It just kind of depends on personal preference, but we have 70+ members right now. And you're kind of able to not only share things that you personally are working on and share out, you know, this is what's launching in the next couple of weeks. Can you guys show up for me? But you can express your desire to collab or host a panel discussion. Like, there are just so many people in that group that want to work together. You also have insider access to magazine planning. So prior to every issue, we do meet as a group, and I kind of walk through what the next issue has in store and provide opportunities for the members to participate in the magazine. It also includes a directory listing on our website. We often post about different types of collaborations with Get Griefy, so that way you can get featured on our social media platforms. And it's not necessarily sales-based, it's more about showing who you are as a person and getting your personality out there and getting your name out there, so that way you become a recognized member of the grief ecosystem. And then you do have the option to submit blog posts and events on our website. And yeah, we do have discounts and marketplace listings, advertising, and features. So if that way you kind of want to expand on your membership, those discounts are always there. And it does cost $9.99 a month or $100 annually. And the membership truly is what keeps the magazine accessible and free for everyone. So it's a really great segue for people to become more visible in the grief community. So that's all I'm going to share about the collective. If there's anyone that has more questions about it, I'd gladly answer it. But tonight is not about talking about logistics of this membership. It's truly about these two beautiful members who decided that they wanted to take some time away from their families tonight to share with you all their pain to purpose story. We have Amanda McKoy Flanagan tonight with us, and we also have Nicole Scimone. Sorry, Nicole, I just went over this with you. We're like moving back and forth with each other, but they are incredible members of our collective. They've been here for quite some time, and whenever I ask for collaboration or things like this, like, hey, I want to start this, who wants to participate? They're always the first to raise their hand. And so I'm just so honored and privileged to know them as humans and as griefy people. And so what I want to do is just provide some opportunity for both of them to share a little bit about their grief journey and what got them to the point of channeling their pain into purpose, because I think that that's like a tricky topic sometimes to talk about. And for whatever reason, that idea is stigmatized a little bit because we don't want to force people to move forward in their grief journey if they're not quite ready. And we don't want to, oversimplify things like, oh, just channel your pain into purpose and you'll feel better. Like, that's not necessarily how it works. Mm-hmm. However, if it's something that you feel called to do and you lean into it, I will say with certainty, at least for me, it did help me. Like, creating Get Griefy magazine has helped me. Creating this community has helped me. Was it a magic pill? Absolutely not. But was it something that has allowed me to expand my circle, make new connections, and find new possibilities as a result of the fact that I live? Absolutely. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight, is just the pain to purpose. So I would love to start with Amanda, and I'm going to go ahead and introduce her to you all. I'm just going to kind of read a little bit about her, and then we'll let her have the floor. So Amanda is a certified loss and empowerment coach, an energy healer, the best-selling author of an inspirational memoir, Trust Yourself to Be All In, Safe to Love and Let Go. She's also a writing coach, motivational speaker, and host of the award-winning Soul Rising podcast. Amanda takes her passion to the next level with one-on-one private energy-infused coaching, workshops and retreats with intention of helping people heal, transform, and empower themselves to move into the next phase of their lives with resilience, enthusiasm, and purpose. Amanda, rock star, thank you for being here. Tell us a little bit about your grief journey and what brought you to this point that you wanted to tackle all of these things, because that is quite the list. You have so many offerings and they're all amazing.
Thanks, Garrett. Yeah, I was just telling my husband, I was like, because I'm right now, I'm full to capacity. Like, can't take on any more clients. I'm full with events, my podcast, like I'm at my max. And I'm like, I told him, I'm like, people sometimes say, wow, you do so much. It's so much. Like, why don't you should focus on one thing? And I said, no. I said, the reason why I'm doing well is because I do everything. Like, I capture people who like podcasts. I capture people who like workshops. I capture people who want that one-to-one coaching. So I'm kind of like casting this wide net. And even though it sounds like a lot of stuff, it's all under the umbrella of loss. So the writing coaching is just helping people write memoirs, which typically are born of loss. Yeah, I guess you can like have, eat, pray, love. I mean, of course, but there's loss in there, right? Like, it all goes back to loss. Like, that's how like I feel that like we are like on the cusp of something like really like monumental, and like going forward in the future, I think all of us grief workers and people in this space, we're going to kind of be flooded, I think, with people wanting our services, because just the world collectively is in a crazy place, right? So I try to kind of talk to people about loss in more ways than just death, right? More than the death of a person or a pet or even divorce. I think a lot of people are getting comfortable with the idea of loss. But I talk about, like, I have a client right now who we're talking about like the mother wound and like her relationship with her mother, you know, and the pain of like that she's coming to terms, acceptance. Like it's all kind of this, it's all the same stages, not really, right? We don't have stages, but like principles behind how you move forward, accepting these things in your life that you feel powerless over, that you know, that you're just sad over, that you miss, or that you want something different than it is. That's loss as well. So I got started in all of this. It wasn't something that I chose, right? We always say grief work is not something that we choose, it chooses us. And that's like a little bit of sometimes a conundrum for me. Sometimes I'm like, am I making money off my dead brother? You know, like sometimes I feel like, am I using this, my trauma, as like, oh, but no, I mean, I could be doing a million other things and be making a hell of a lot more money doing it, you know? So it's a calling. And I think not everybody who suffers loss, specifically traumatic loss, like we all have, I don't think everybody is called to this, but a certain type of person is, and I feel blessed that I am. Again, it was after like a procession of deaths, really. After I moved to Colorado, I had 5 family members die in under 3 years, and moving from New York to Colorado was another loss. It was a big identity crisis. I was missing my friends. I'm sober. I was missing my groups. I was missing my AA groups. Like everything was so different culturally. Like I knew everything. I remember I wrote in my book, like I was walking through the supermarket. This was like the straw that broke the camel's back. And I didn't know where the milk was. And I was just like, where is the milk? And I just had this, like, it was like the beginning of the end. And then like 2 weeks later, I found myself like on the floor, like howling in this like crazy pain. I got into an argument with somebody, but it was this buildup of all the grief that I didn't deal with. But my brother died, even that happened. And then like 2 years later, my brother overdosed. 4 months before that, my cousin overdosed. So those kind of, and with my cousin, it was weird because I kind of felt like this relief for her. Like she always suffered, like she always just suffered a lot of mental illness, addiction, all the things. So when she died, I felt this instant like relief. So I kind of just didn't look at my grief at all with that. And of course I had other losses before all of this, but this was the main thing. And then when Jeremy died, it was just like the lid just like kind of came off. It was just like, and I really didn't even know like what the word grief or grieving, like I really had no experience talking about it. I didn't know what it was, like that it even was like a thing, like a whole world around this healing. So about 5 months after Jeremy dies, I told my husband I didn't love him. I said, I don't know if I ever loved you. I think my decision to marry you was just like a really good decision. And he was like, your brother just died 5 months ago. He goes, do you think maybe your grief is playing a part? And I was like, maybe. Now I'm 12 years sober now. He's 22 years sober at that point. And we both know that typically what is presenting on the surface, there's usually something else going on underneath that's creating that, right? An emotion or something, and then it's just coming out sideways. So we go to, and that's mainly why I do the work that I do, is because I want to help people to deal with it before it comes out sideways, and then they wreak havoc in their life like I did. And other people's lives like I did. I put my husband through hell. So we go to therapy, and my therapist sort of lays out this whole, she helps me understand what I call the great myth, generational family dysfunction, which always told me to protect myself, to always love a little less in relationships, to always try to have that upper hand because I'm going to be hurt. Somebody's going to leave me. Somebody's going to hurt me. And if I have this little bit of space between me and them, I'm not going to be as devastated. Not true. Complete lie. I think maybe it helped people stay alive like long time ago when it was like mom and 8 kids and dad off at war and she couldn't feel, you know. I think that protection served people for survival, but now we just don't need it. So I went through this whole process. That was 2018. We're still in it. We're still doing the work. COVID hits. And my husband didn't want to go in-person therapy anymore. I stayed with her on Zoom, but we did some work on the side. So that kind of ended, but we were in a really good place. And COVID 2020 really just like wrecked me, like emotionally. Like it was a great year. Like I found myself, but I was really upset about the division. I was really, really upset. And I know there's always been division, but it seems like that was like a turning point for us, like society-wise, right? It's like, So, the presidency, Trump presidency, and then COVID, and it was just all this division. And I was really upset by it. And I have a social work degree. And I was like, all right, what am I going to do? We stayed in the house for like a year because my husband, I didn't say, he's 12 years older than me. And he's a 9/11 first responder with chronic respiratory illness. So we took COVID very seriously. So I'm like, what am I going to do when I get out of the house? Like, I feel like I need to do something to help the world. So I'm running one day and I do my best thinking when I'm running. It's like very meditative for me. And I just hear, you're going to write a book. And I was like, what? And I've always had like a connection, like to like a higher power or like spirit or something. And when my brother died, that kind of just blew up. Like, I really feel probably closer to him now than I did when he was alive. But I was like, okay, I'm going to write a book. What? And like, just the floodgates just opened. It was the craziest thing. So this 3 years of healing my marriage and my grief and all the things, by early 2021, I just started connecting all these dots, and it was like fast and furious, and it was just like pouring out of me. And if anybody's interested in writing a book and that happens, talking to your phone. That was what I did, because it was happening so fast, and I didn't think I was going to be able to capture the insight or the understanding of it, writing it. So I eventually did write, but I started talking. So I wrote the book, and that was like a 2-year process. And so it's about my grief, it's about my journey, it's about my marriage, it's about it's really about like meeting myself, my true self, knowing that I will always have my own back. So it doesn't matter who leaves, who stays, all that kind of stuff. But actually, I'm putting out a podcast on Friday about this, and this has had me thinking a lot, because the guy was talking about how in the personal development world, there's this whole like, it's almost like self-sufficiency. Like, you could take it like that. Like, I fill all my needs, I'm good, and I don't need you. We do need others. We really do. Like, I never said like, I don't need anybody, I'm good. That's unhealthy, self-sufficiency. But there are some needs that's why we're drawn into partnership. There are some needs. That's why we, animals travel in packs. That's why we park next to somebody in the parking lot when there's a million spaces, and we park next to the one car that's there. We're drawn to each other, and it's for just all the things that we need to learn throughout life that's only done in partnership. But the book is not saying you don't need anybody. It's called Trust Yourself to Be All In, and it's all in with you. Like, I'm good. Like, I'm good. I finally found my self-worth. I found my self-love. And I'm not to say that that's like I'm like solid all the time. It kind of, circumstances, things happen. I just went through another big loss at the end of last year, a friend who's alive, but ended the relationship, and and it was also part business as well. And it really, really hurt me. But so I'm not always like, and just, I'm sure you guys can agree, like I do this work because it helps to heal me. Like, I do it because it helps me as well. So after the book's published, a couple of years, 2023, I'm like, okay, what am I going to do now? Like, what's like the next logical, I was like going to book fairs, I was doing all the marketing, I was doing all the things. And I was like, all right, what's next? So I was like, coaching. Grief coaching, like that just makes sense. Like, the book it's about grief. Like, it didn't dawn on me until then that like everything was about grief. And I took a certification course from grief to gratitude. And then I started my when did this launch, Kara? Because I feel like I found you really early.
The collective launched like 6 months after the magazine started. It was like July of 24. Does that make sense?
Was it? So then it was a bit early 24.
Well, I think I found you in spring. Like, I think for issue 2, you were one of the contributors. So yeah.
And I probably found you through Nina, because Nina was my very first like stranger, like online person that we didn't know each other, but like we just took a liking to each other. She reached out. Her brother also passed away, and so yeah, I feel like you came along, and this Get Griefy, all of it came along at like the exact time. And I was looking at it, and it is a networking group, right? I mean, it's all of it. It's community. It serves us. We serve others. And then we get to meet each other and work together and collaborate. But it's not like a networking, like a salesy business. I'm in another one here in Colorado, and they call it a connection company. And I feel like that's more what this is. This isn't about sales or selling anything. It's about meeting people, first of all, that get it, that get you, right? So it's helping us personally. And then we come together. So I start coaching, and then I'm like, oh, and writing coaching. I can help people write books because I know how to write a book. My book did fairly well. So, and then I got certified same year, 2024, I got certified as a psychic medium and also Reiki. I'm a Reiki practitioner, EFT tapping, chakra clearing, balancing, like that whole world. Like I'm very much in that whole world. So what I do, I blended it all together and I call it energy infused coaching. Because when you work with me, we can do a Reiki session one day, or usually at the end of every session now, I work in some breathing, some grounding. I write my own meditations. So like the writing and the spirit, like everything kind of blends together really well. And like I said, I'm not just helping people with death. I'm helping people with all different things. Like one girl that I'm working with right now too, it's like, she feels like she's not where she's supposed to be. Like she feels like something in her life, she's having a hard time accepting that where she's living, where she's working, like she's just, and it all goes back to childhood and stuff lost in childhood and stuff like that for most of us. But so I kind of peel a lot of layers with people. They might think they're coming to me because somebody died. But then when we sit and we talk, we do a lot more healing than that. Like I don't just sit with people, and I will sit with you. If you're just want to cry and you just want me to listen and be there and hold your hand, I'll do that for you. But the pain to purpose, I feel like at some point, like I had to at some point pick myself up off the ground and find a reason to keep going. We have to make meaning. That's how we get through grief. We make meaning. We find meaning. My meaning is to now help other people navigate their loss as well as help them heal their energy to then ultimately heal the collective, to heal the planet. That's what this was all about. Because I was all upset about the division. I was all upset about like the world falling apart, climate change, the whole deal. And the intro of my book talks about that. So yes, the work that I do with people is personal, but it has a much bigger purpose for them because it's also by healing our energy. I mean, it's not rocket science. We've been talking about this since like ancient philosophers, like law of attraction. Like we get better, we heal, the world around us gets better. Like the world's a mess because people are walking around like straight up messes and they haven't dealt with their stuff, right? So that sort of pushes me. And I just want to say before I'm done, Get Griefy, the small business collective is just amazing. I mean, there are so many opportunities. Like every time I open up my email, like there's always something that I can get involved in. Kara, you do such a great job and you're so creative and you make it so easy. Like these Google forms, right? Like you want to contribute to a social media post, just fill out the Google form. It takes 5 minutes once you have your bio, once you have your picture, like once you have stuff already in, on your computer, you just pop it in and submit it, and that's it. I've had a lot of Get Griefy members on my podcast, like a lot of them. That's been awesome. And I've done like a lot of lives with people, like just having these conversations, just these very honest, kind of heartfelt conversations with people. And I think the work that we do is so authentic, and it comes from such an honest, loving, compassionate place. And I think people are just really like wanting that. People are like yearning for real, like they just want to connect. So I really appreciate all the opportunities. Nicole and I, we did a workshop together. We did a writing and grief workshop together. So there's just like, it just has expanded my opportunities to meet other people and to just get my message out there more. Like when people ask me all the time, well, how do you market? What do you do? How do you do? It's all networking. It's all meeting people. It's all relationships. It's all word of mouth stuff. So I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to share tonight and for offering this, having this space. I mean, we were just talking people before we got on. Kara has a 3 and a 5-year-old. Like, it's not like she doesn't have her hands full. So thank you. Thank you for taking time for this.
No, I seriously wholeheartedly appreciate that so much. And every time I hear your story, it like gives me chills because we've been doing this for a while and I have heard it a few times, but each time I feel like I get a new nugget out of it. And I think, one of the biggest pieces of the pie, which is hard for us as people who are leaning into the idea that we want to kind of make this our job. And I'm glad that you vocalized it. And it's good that we can have this conversation and let people know, like, it's okay if this is something that you really truly feel like it's your calling. And you also can make a living from it too. Like, you have permission to do that. Like, if you're not going to do the work, someone else will. Like, they're going to find a way to get the help that they need from someone else. And so, I don't know. I think it's like a very tricky topic, and people feel very uncomfortable thinking of ways in which they can like monetize their pain. And it's not necessarily about monetizing it. It's just about supporting your life and also helping others. And you can do both. And it's like grief. It's both the grief and the joy. Like, you can do both. And so I think I'm glad that you said that and you brought that up, because there are so many people that are curious about starting, but I think that's like something that gives them the ick. They're like, oh, I can't do that. And it's like, yes, you can. Like, you really can.
Now, I was talking to one of my neighbors about this once, and she was saying, and it was great because she said, the more you make, the more you can roll into continue doing good works. Like, it's not like I mean, I guess you could go out and buy yourself a Maserati if you want to, but like, I am like doing, like, I was planning a retreat in Tulum, and it's canceled. I was doing that, but like, I was going to go forward with it and take a loss of a few $1,000s because it mattered so much to me, because I've making money in other areas that I could afford to do that. So that's how I keep myself kind of above board and like check my motives.
Yeah.
That it's coming from a heartfelt place.
1,000%. Yeah. No, and I think that you think of like any other profession in the world, like a doctor, for example. A doctor most likely goes into it because they genuinely want to help people, and people are sick and they truly need treatment. That doesn't mean that they're bad because they're able to provide for their family. So I think it's just this whole stigma around the idea that people need to shake off. And I think that's been a vital piece of the collective, because we find different ways to collaborate and help people, but also sometimes, if need be, like, we're able to provide and continue building our businesses as a result. So it's a win-win. But yeah,
I couldn't imagine doing anything else with my time, really, is what it comes down to. Like, I couldn't sit in the cubicle. I couldn't. And then, so I know there are people that have to do that or want to do that. For me personally, I feel like it is so meaningful.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why I believe in God, spirit, universe, whatever you want to call it, is going to keep providing so that I can keep helping people. And I think when you're aligned like that, it works out.
Yeah. Perfect. I agree.
I loved your story, Amanda, too. I love listening to everything that you have to say. And I can exactly what Kara said, too, of like feeling that ick in the beginning of like, oh, man, I'm going to like try to capitalize on my dad's death. And it's like, it's like, what is that? And that's a whole wound that you have to like work through, and you have to like go in, and you have to be like, no, I think it's okay. Because and it's not even just us. It's like, I've had this conversation, I'm sure all of you have, in other places of other people that feel that way. And it's like, no, where is your intention, and like, where is your heart? And if it's in the right place, then like, it does not matter, and you're doing good for the greater good. But it's such a relatable sentiment. And everything else that you said too, I just not knowing like, what the word grief was, I so related to that as well. So I love hearing all of these stories in this collective. So
thank you. Now we're going to hear yours, I think.
Yeah, let's tee you up. So next up we have Nicole Scimone. She's a certified grief coach and writing workshop facilitator. She's dedicated to guiding others through their journey of grief and loss. After losing her father at the age of 24, Nicole discovered a deep calling to support others on their grief journey, helping them find healing, meaning, and a renewed sense of peace. Through compassionate coaching, reflective writing, and heartfelt conversations, she creates safe spaces where individuals can explore their stories, honor their grief, and move forward with resilience and hope. I love, so many of us use resilience in what we do. And I also think that that is I don't know, a taboo word in the grief space. Like everyone's like, "Ugh, you can't force people to be resilient." And it's like, you're right. They will get there when they're ready. But I think all of us do tap into that resilience, and we've all gotten to the point where we've accepted it. And like, what is the alternative? Like if we're not resilient, then what are we? We're just going to flounder forever. And like, that's not acceptable either. So I think that we push the envelope a little bit, and not everyone maybe agrees with all of the things that we do, maybe from like a higher perspective. But I think overall, all of the things that we are working on are truly so heartfelt and intentional, and have the best interest in everyone in mind. And so I think it takes the old guard to make way for the new guard, and understand that there's other ways to do things other than just like the traditional like stages of grief, right? And so that's what we're kind of breaking some barriers here. And so I'm so excited to hear your story again, and talk a little bit about your dad and the way you're honoring him. I feel like he's just, I mean, I lost my mom, and I like to think that she's just so proud of me, and I know that he's like so proud of you. So I'm here for it. Let's hear your story and just more about what you're offering people.
Awesome. Thank you. And I think I want to also talk about the collective first, because piggyback on what Amanda said, I'm just so grateful to be here. And I think also, I just want to thank you for creating a community that is community, not competition. And like you said, there is space for all of us. A lot of us do the same things, whether we're coaches or workshop facilitators, but I feel like you've created such a great platform for that. Like I would not be here if it felt like competition, and it truly doesn't. And I'm always humbled too, because there are so many people in this collective that have done things that I've not even gotten to yet, but I don't feel like intimidated. I feel like I'm in good company, and you've created that environment for everybody. And I know all the members are adding to that too. So I just have to give you kudos first. But my story, so yes, my story of grief is centered around my dad. And up until that age, 24, like I hadn't had anything big like that happen in my life. I really had kind of I did have like a very picture perfect childhood in my own way. Of course, it wasn't like always perfect, but my parents were happily married. Just like a beautiful, loving family that I came from. And my dad had cancer. When I was in high school, he had leukemia. So he got a stem cell transplant, and so many complications can come from that. And he actually wasn't really like meant to survive that, but he did. And we always say we got like 7 more bonus years with him, but your immune system is just severely compromised after that. So he ended up getting a lung infection, and then he was not able to come back from the lung infection. So it was very like nuanced. So they tried to fix it. He was in and out of the hospital. It was sort of like a slow decline over a couple of months. And then, he passed away in August. It's going to be 13 years. So it's been a minute. So I feel like I'm kind of like deep into the grief at this point. But it certainly, like, as we all know, like it changed my life. It just absolutely blew it apart. Very close with my dad and my mom. My mom is still alive. I know there's people in our collective that, of course, have lost like both parents, and she was such a big part in helping me get through that. But I didn't know what to do. And like Amanda said earlier, grief was not on my radar. Like I had no idea what that word was. Nobody was talking about mental health in 2013. Like there was not this platform like there is now. And I had no idea what to do. I was so angry. And I just remember being very like avoidant of my reality. And I think someone mentioned, maybe Amanda, like acceptance. Like I just refused to accept it. I was like, this wasn't on my bingo card. Like I didn't sign up for this. My life hasn't even started. Like I was literally living at home with my mom. I was 2 years out of college. I was like, got my corporate job. I was like, okay, like I'm a big girl. Like I'm going to save some money, and then I'm going to like get married, have a bunch of kids. And then like, I was actually enrolled in a master's program for hospital administration, and was going down this corporate path. And then he died 3 weeks before that was to start. And I remember I started the program, but I had like, as we all know, I had like an existential crisis in the middle of it. I was like, I don't care about this. I don't care about this at all. Why do you guys care about healthcare policy? Like, people that we love just die. Like, this is not okay. And I just, yeah, I had a kind of like a big pivot at that point. My bachelor's is actually in human services, which it's kind of like social work and like mental health all combined, but it's a bachelor's. So you can't do a whole lot with that. So I always did have this like service-minded heart. Like, I wanted to be of service. Corporate was just comfy, cozy. And so I feel like when he died, it was sort of like this wake-up call of like, hey, remember what you originally like loved to do. And very similar to you, Amanda, like I had this kind of whisper, and I'm very spiritual myself. So it was a bit of a whisper, like, you're going to do something with this, and it felt kind of like a no-brainer. I was like, yeah, of course. Like, this is like the biggest thing ever. Like, my dad died. Like, my person is dead. Like, and no one's talking about it. Like, no one talks about grief. Like, I had like 2 people in my life that had lost a parent at that point. And I actually remember asking them to have dinner with me. I was like, I need you to tell me everything. I need you to tell me how to survive this. What am I going to do? So I did. I had this thought, like, I'll probably do something with this. But at the time, I had a lot of healing to do. Like I said, I was very angry. I did my own therapy. And I turned to writing. I turned to journaling. Wasn't a journaler up until that point. And writing was the thing that I really feel like saved me. Like, it helped me process it. It just got, everything out, and it kind of started just very angry, right? Like brain dump, like just get all the anger out. And so that's kind of where my idea to help people was born. Same thing. I was like, I think I might write a book. I think I'm gonna do something. And it was one of those things where I put it on a shelf though. I really didn't know. I didn't want to touch it because I was like, I don't know what it is. So I just kind of kept going the corporate way. And I sort of stayed sort of one track minded. Like, I didn't really use like my creative brain or like have like an entrepreneurial sense because I was so woven into that corporate world. So I didn't really know what I could do. But all along, like you said, Amanda, like, I'm not meant to be sat at a desk 9 to 5. Like, I did it for 12 to 13 years and it honestly drained my soul. And it was always like, I felt like a square peg in a round hole. Like, what else could I be doing? I don't know what it is, but I know it's not here. And that thought was maddening. So I guess my sort of moment where it changed would have been the pandemic. So similar to you, it's like, I don't know. I just had all this downtime. My son was actually born in 2020. So you're in this cocoon, and I was like, I just started to get curious. And this is also when the online world just, came to life, right? Like all of this online stuff. I learned about life coaches. I started listening to lots of podcasts, and there's lots of online workshops. So I just started to research. I just kind of looked at what other people were doing. I started actually using my account on Instagram to follow griefy people. And I think that's how I found a lot of you guys is, people were finally, I'm I feel like around 2019, 2020 is when I was finally, people are talking about this stuff. And I felt right at home when I would hear other people talk about it. So what I did was I had all of my journals, all of my so much processing, scrap pieces of paper. I would find notebooks that I had written on in my corporate job, remembering I was in my cubicle, I'm I'm not working, just reflecting. So I created a blog. That was the first thing. I was okay, well, that makes sense, right? I'll create a blog, and I would just write personal essays about what I went through. And then it just kind of the curiosity just kept going. I would attend writing workshops, griefy ones, non-griefy ones. And then I got my coaching certification. I think I did the same program as you, Amanda, the From Grief to Gratitude. Because again, yeah, I was like, grief coach. I'm like, other people like teach and like guide other people to like about grief. I'm like, I think I could do that. And I attended a support group myself about 2 years after my dad died. So it was like a 12-week in-person program. And I was like, this is amazing. Like, I finally felt like I was given like language to like really understand what I was feeling. And sort of like the whole acceptance thing too. Like, once I really accepted my reality and I was like, he's not coming back. Like, we can't change that. Like, let's just move forward, because we can't control what happens to us, as we know, right? But we do have control over like how we react and what we do with that. And so this whole like making meaning, I was like, I have control of the fact that I want to make meaning out of this. So like let's actually take action. So yeah, the grief coaching again felt like a no-brainer. I was like, yes, like I can help others. And I also sort of think of like the theory of like using the medicine that helped you as a ways to help other people. So for me, that was like writing. Writing was my medicine. Like that support group, like grief support was a medicine to me. And now it's like, I want to now offer it to other people. That is just like pain to purpose, I think, in like a nutshell. And so, yeah, I got the coaching certification. And then I also, that's when I was really like having another existential crisis, I guess, of, it's like kind of a theme, I guess, in my griefy journey. I was in corporate and I was like, I had my daughter now, 2 kids, and I was getting further kind of like enamored with like making this a thing. And I just took like a swan dive out of my corporate job about 2 years ago. And I didn't go like full entrepreneur. I actually I pivoted to nonprofits. So that was like another big thing that I explored, because, you know, maybe like we said, not everybody has to like, you know, write a book or become a coach. Like there's other avenues. So nonprofits was actually like a really fulfilling avenue for me. And I found 2 of them. One of them was in the grief space, childhood grief, kids that have lost a parent. So part-time, like helping, I match, it's like a big brother, big sister. Like you match kids that have lost a dad with an older woman that's lost a dad. I started as a mentor myself. And now I help coordinate the program. And then I also found another one that was in the cancer space. So again, very like fulfilling for me. So that was a really great way to like, I guess like, yeah, leave a place where I didn't feel like I fit to go into a place where I did feel like I fit. And then last year made another pivot to mostly doing my own thing and still trying to figure this out. I feel like I've only really just scratched the surface. I look at somebody like you, Amanda, and even you, Kara, of all that you've done, and a lot of what you've created is like on my vision board. So I'm like, I have a lot of the big dreams. Like I just am very much trying my hardest to like stay present and like focus on what I can do right now. And I know the other stuff will come later, but it's really not been easy. And I know like it's like we said, like it sounds like really nice, right? But it's like, it's hard. Like it's almost like the work that we do, like you said, Amanda, like it's helping us. And also we're like scratching at our deepest wound like every day. And if you're not like centered and grounded in your own grief, it can hurt a lot. And you always kind of want to make sure that like you're okay and taken care of. And for a long time too, I felt like I was kind of like tightly grasping. I was like, I have to do this. Like I use the word alchemize a lot. I'm like, I have to alchemize this pain. And I'm like, but who's like, who's telling me that I have to do this? Like my dad's not like telling me to do this. Like, you know, God, the universe, I'm like, I'm putting that pressure on myself. So it's like this year I've decided to really like not force things and just be more in the flow and just be like, what comes. And I'm very, very, yeah, like this whole pain to purpose thing is it's like the best thing that's happened to me too, like to come from this, like you said, like it's, yeah, you take the hardest thing that you've dealt with and to turn it into something good is I just feel like it's like a gift. It's like a treasure for like somebody like us. And I will honor it as best as I can, but it's a long game, and it's not, I think of it like that too. I'm like, I can't do like everything this year. Like, let's take it easy. Let's maybe do a workshop. Let's maybe like market ourselves over here or this and that. So, but yeah, I guess that's my story. But I'm like finding a place like this though, again, as a person that constantly looked for places where I felt like I fit, I finally feel like I found that in this collective, and to be around like-minded people who have these big dreams and these big aspirations, and to what you created tonight, turning your pain into purpose. Like, I don't know. I just feel really, like, not to be cliche, but I feel blessed to be in a group like this, and to just like grow together. And like you said, it's not only like growing your own business, but it's collaborating with other people. And I love that. Like the workshop that Amanda and I did, that was actually my very first thing that I ever did with anybody, like on my own and in this collective. So I was like, I don't know, that was like a dream, and we need to do that again. But yeah, so I'm just like really excited about what the future holds, and I'm just happy to be here always.
I love that both of you mentioned something that I also, like, it happened to me too. Like, it hit me on the head one day. I was in the shower, and like, for whatever reason, it's the water. I feel like I always get my best ideas. Like you, Amanda, you were running. Nicole, what were you doing?
Oh, I honestly, mine's not very fun. I think I was drinking. So like, let's just like make some humor about that. I might have been drinking.
Well, to some capacity, it all involves liquid, because I'm sure Amanda was sweaty. Hydrating yourself. I don't know.
The shower, I get it. The shower happens to me now that I don't drink. So yeah.
Like same thing. Like I randomly got this idea. I was like, I'm gonna start a magazine, and I got out and my hair was like soaking wet, and I like put on my pajamas and I sat down at my computer and I just started writing. My husband's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm starting a magazine." He was like, "What?" Like, "You're crazy." I'm like, "I am. I'm nuts." But I don't know, these like little nudges happen, and you just know that it's for you, and you know that it's something that you need to pursue. And I think what's great about the collective is that so many of us have had these moments where it's like, oh, okay, this is something that I need to do, and this is something that I need to continue. And we all do it in a different way, whether that be through coaching, through writing, through the coloring books that Patricia has. Like, there's just so many different avenues, podcasts, like you name it, it's in there. And what's cool about it is that seeing what other people are doing, it's like so inspiring. Like you get to be with some of the best, and it really pushes you to reflect and think of ways that you could offer something different or something new, or put yourself out there in a way that maybe you wouldn't normally put yourself out there, because you see other people that are doing it, and it kind of creates this pathway like, oh, this is possible. So that's what I've been loving about it, is just like, when I create these opportunities, it's not like coming out of thin air. It's like, oh, like I saw someone else do this, like I'm also gonna like find a way that we can all do this together, right? And so I think that that's the part, that the beauty behind it, is that we get to build these things as a collective, as a group. So, but I don't know, I'm just so grateful for this conversation and opening up these conversations for others. And I know Patricia's already a member of our collective, but Megan, do you have any questions for us, or anything that you would like to know?
Yeah, I mean, I have tons of questions. But I just want to say thank you for sharing your stories. I know that is, vulnerability, and I'm always in awe of people that are willing to be vulnerable. So thank you for that. I really enjoyed listening to both of you. And thank you, Kara, for doing this. So I guess my biggest question is, how often do you all have live connections like this?
Well, so like that are open to the public, or for the group.
I guess both. So open to the public. And it sounded like maybe this was the first one.
Yeah, this is the first one. So we're going to try to do open houses monthly, and I have it scheduled right now for the first Wednesday of every month, and it's going to alternate between an evening time and an afternoon time just to kind of accommodate different schedules. So if people ever want to come to this in the future, of course, like the first 5-10 minutes are going to be kind of like the same, but then obviously they can hear other stories, and maybe that is going to inspire them as well. Like, again, every single member of our collective all has a different story, and they all provide different services. And so I don't think any of these meetings will ever be duplicate. Like, they're going to be so distinct from each other. In terms of actual collective meetings, we do all collective meetings quarterly, typically right before we start planning for the next issues. We are going to start office hours, which is just going to be more like no agenda. We just open it up, and if people want to join and say hi, that's going to be available. And then there's also like subgroups in the collective. So there's like a group for all of the podcasters, or a group who they're all like doula certified. And those people, like if there's a group leader in there, they typically try to also add an additional meeting per quarter. I believe Tara does like a PR group. There's like a few other ones that have like group leaders. Authors meet quarterly. So I guess it's like kind of choose your own adventure in terms of how involved you want to be. I would say these two here are typically one of the more involved members of the group. And then there's some people that they just basically are involved to get their name out there and put their name on the directory, and an occasional like opportunity will come by and they're like, oh, I want to do that. So like, it's kind of like fishing, and you just like put your hook in and you decide, you know, what you want to bite at. But there's definitely a lot of opportunities if you want to be involved, or if too many opportunities overwhelm you, you can kind of just be like, I'm not going to do that, but I know that I will be welcomed with loving arms eventually when I come around. So like, that's, no one ever takes it personally, you know. It just kind of, we're all in this weird journey, and some of us are still working full-time jobs and doing this on the side. So it's like a very strange balance. And this is a weird community in that sense, because so many people have to do that. Like, I was doing that for a very long time. I just stepped away from my job like a month and a half ago. So it's just, yeah. So it's an interesting space. It really is. And it's hard if you try to do it alone, and it's not impossible to do it alone, but I think it's so much easier with support and community and friends. So
yeah, that's so helpful. So I think I've connected with a few of you, but so we're doing something from some other grief coaches from ILCT. We all connected, and we've started this Grief Coaching Alliance group. But I'm also realizing how hard it is to do this. And so I'm like, I feel like I really love this like openness that you've created of like, there's space at the table for everybody. And that's how we feel too. And so I'm like, I just would love to like pick your brains at some point. I'm definitely going to join the collective. Like, I mean, this is all new to me. My background is in education. So I'm new to the grief space in the last few years. So, so anyway, but this was amazing. And this is kind of where we're hoping to go to at some point. We're starting a soft launch, we think, in the next few months, but we've been like meeting for a year and just like realizing how dang hard it is to coordinate schedules and, like you said, jobs and all the things. Yeah. We've got people in Portugal and Scotland and I mean everywhere. So it's really cool. But I have just been in awe of you guys online, actually, following your journees. Like, I think, Nicole, you have the writing one coming up, right? I think I had messaged you about that. So yeah, this is really cool to watch and see, and just appreciate you having the open house for me to kind of figure out what it's all about. So thank you.
Yeah, you're so welcome. And yeah, I think I just, I don't know if I was messaging with you or someone else from that organization, but I just saw that. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. And I think that that's smart that you guys have niched down, because this collective is open to, like, you would actually be kind of shocked to see the different variety of the ways it can be represented and assisted, sure. But it's kind of wild. So, but the cool thing about it is, yes, like you can niche down and kind of like go with the coaches, but you can also find a way to, like, I'm thinking like in education terms, like it's like cross curriculum, like you can
For
cross
sure.
and it makes things a little bit like more robust and profound, I think, when there's like multiple avenues represented. So I think we've done a few like roundtables, and I'm trying to think, we've done like some panels and things of that nature. Now that I'm not working, that's going to be definitely my priority to kind of get more things out on the calendar for us to participate in. So I'm excited.
Awesome. Well, you guys are doing amazing things.
Thank you.
Megan,
Cool.
you too. Thanks for being
I
here.
just want to add that, Megan, I mean, you understand, but like the subgroups are really great too, because I've learned so much from like Erin and the people in the authors group, and we meet and we talk, and then we get together maybe and have our own, like I've met with Erin like 4 times on Zoom, just
Okay.
talking about, creating books and different things, and she's so helpful. And then I was on someone's podcast, and I would never think that I would be on a podcast. And then there I was on Heroes in Grief. And it's just an amazing group of people, and we're all like-minded. And
Very cool.
yeah, it's a universal thing, grief, but that we all feel called to do something about it, I think brings us together in such a way. And I'm just glad I found it as well.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, Patricia, you've been here for maybe about
a year, I think. Yeah.
Has it been a year already? Oh, wow. Okay. I'm like losing track of time, but yeah, I feel glad to hear you say that, because sometimes I'm always like, oh my gosh, I hope people are finding value out of this, and so I'm glad that you are. So thank you.
Yeah, I think it's sometimes you connect with someone and they don't get back to you, but then there's so many people who do. And even just the social media aspect and the Instagram page, and just I think, and all the little things you do that are so great, the Google form stuff, and I try to participate because I love all that stuff. And it's just been part of the adventure for me for the last 2.5 years that I've been doing this stuff. So yeah,
Amanda,
I'm
I like
excited to see what's next.
Like you said, it was like a connecting group. I'm like, I should start using that. That's what it is. A connecting group.
Yeah. And I tell like if I meet someone else who's in the grief space who's not part of it, I tell them about it. I'm like, you have to just join this because it's what you need.
You need it.
Well, thank
awesome.
you.
Well, I genuinely appreciate both of you ladies for just putting yourselves out there and sharing your journey with us, and also everyone just for being here, or people that are going to be watching this back. Thank you for watching. And for anyone that is interested in joining, all of our information on the Small Business Collective is listed on our website. You just go to getgriefy.com and click on the Small Business Collective. It'll give you all the benefits, the ways to join, and then make sure that you're following these beautiful ladies, Amanda McKoy Flanagan and Nicole Scimone _ they're both on Instagram. And then from there, you'll be able to find all of their things, all of their websites, offerings, the whole kit and caboodle. So,
Cool.
awesome. Well, any last words?
Thank you, Kara. This was awesome. I love this.
I'm excited to have this next month. I already forgot. I should have had that written down of who's doing it next month. But the idea is to have 2 members each month. So I'm very excited for that too. So
that's a great way to like spread to like to get people like me that are curious joining. So kudos to you for doing that.
oh, thank you. All right. Well, I hope everyone has a good night. Get some good rest, and we will connect on the other side. See you guys later.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Well.